My mom is the only daughter of a billionaire, while she is on a business trip. My dad has the outside illegitimate child pretend to be my achievement, even publicly claiming he is the richest man's grandson. At the annual company meeting, Nathan embraced my betrothed, took out a few $100 and threw it to me. I am willing to consider your proposal. It's a privilege for you to have me consider it. Don't forget to be grateful. My sister is also there supporting him, coldly watching all of this. Nathan is a nice guy, actually willing to give you, the intern, some money. I advise you not to be foolish. Think about who the real heir is. In a previous life, I cherish family ties very much, treat Nathan like a brother, gave everything to him. They were completely exploited after being reborn. I see through the true nature of these three people. So he taught Nathan a lesson in front of everyone. You are a young master of a club, daring to be so reckless in front of me. Witnessed Nathan spit out a bloody tooth. The younger sister was extremely anxious. Ethan, are you crazy? Try touching him again. Do you believe my dad will fire you immediately? An employee nearby quickly pulled me back, pull while speaking. He is the chairman's grandson, still the heir of the Johnson Group. You're just an intern. It's really terrifying. I couldn't help but snicker, push their hands away forcefully. When did those young masters at the club start impersonating me? Lily, you really lost your composure over this illegitimate child. My so-called sister looked a bit flustered, gave me a slap, interrupted me. Have you had too much to drink? Dare to dream of such things. Also impersonate your identity. Nathan is my brother. Seeing Lily's intense tone in front of me, a chill ran through me. I didn't expect that. She could really say such a thing for Nathan. Lily is not actually Johnson's biological child. My mother accidentally miscarried during her second pregnancy. After feeling heartbroken, a girl was taken from the welfare home to be raised as a daughter. Didn't expect that. Raised a child who is completely ungrateful. In the past 20 years, she is at the Johnsons. My mom regards her as a daughter. I also treat her like a sister. However, she felt that our discipline was restricting her freedom. So she would rather treat Nathan, this outsider, as a real brother. Also unwilling to stand on my side, I covered my face, gave her a cold smile. Lily, it seems you are getting braver. Dare to replace my identity for Nathan. If my mom comes back and finds out you made Nathan impersonate me for the marriage. Have you thought about the consequences? Lily's face was a bit pale. It clearly reminded me of my mother's decisive approach. Sophia, who had been observing for a long time, frowned, finally couldn't hold back and spoke up. What do you mean by that? Isn't Nathan the successor of the Johnson Group? Upon hearing this, Nathan immediately showed an angry expression. My mom has always cared a lot about Ethan, often said to treat him like a son. As a result, he really thought he was a member of the Johnson family. Daydreaming of being a true young master, Sophia. I sincerely hope you don't believe what he says. I didn't say anything, just wait quietly for Sophia's reaction. The Johnsons were my mother's choice of match. If the eldest daughter of the Johnson family can't see through such a lie, then there's no need for me to get married. Sophia hesitated for a moment, turned to look at Lily. Lily said immediately, Sister-in-law, I can't even recognize my own brother. Did you forget? The emerald necklace my brother gave you. It is the heirloom of the Johnson family. Only for the future daughter-in-law, you really doubt my brother. Upon hearing this, I couldn't take it anymore and punched Nathan. You still dare to touch my mom's necklace? That necklace has been passed down through generations in the Johnson family. It won't be taken out casually before marriage. Nathan is indeed very bold, daring to steal something like this just to please Sophia. Enough. Quickly pull this person away. This time it's not what Lily said, but it was Sophia herself who said it. The look she gave was filled with disgust, clearly believed Lily's words. I was held down. The colleagues in the company couldn't stand it, finally gathered the courage to speak up for me. Miss Sophia, he got drunk and caused a scene. It was because Mr. Nathan took the credit for the performance. This is understandable, Sophia said unhappily. As an intern at Johnson's company, he should serve the Johnson family wholeheartedly. What does it matter to have performance taken away? Didn't it also compensate a few $100? You are really too greedy. I froze there. Unexpectedly, the always gentle and kind Miss Johnson, such an attitude in private. She and Nathan are indeed cut from the same cloth. Lily cast a proud glance at me. Then she cuddled up to Sophia's arm and acted cute. Sister-in-law has great insight. I knew he wasn't a good person long ago. I looked at Sophia, who was pretending to be a good person. A feeling of discomfort. The Johnson family is clearly weaker than the Smith family. No wonder Sophia is trying to get close to the Johnsons. Lost all face. It's a pity the person she is trying so hard to please. It's a complete fake. I want to see. When she realized she had married an illegitimate child, will it still be as self-righteous as now in the previous life? I know Nathan is my father's illegitimate child. Originally wanted to tell my mom, but at the request of my dad and sister, I gave up on this idea. My dad was in tears at that time, kneel in front of me. He said Nathan and I share 50% of our DNA. Hope I can treat him like a brother. After marrying into the Johnson family, he has always felt very depressed, so secretly found a lover outside. Also gave birth to an illegitimate child. He has disguised himself perfectly these past few years. My mom has always felt quite happy. Finally, I softened my heart. Decide to keep this secret for them. Nathan, before my dad recognized him. He is a young master at the club. It was at that moment. Lily connected with him. I feel sorry for Nathan. He took the initiative to suggest to my mom that he come to the company. But it's surprising how greedy people can be. What he wants is not just these. My mom is on business abroad all year. My dad took this opportunity to put pressure on me. Let me hand over the project in my hands to make Nathan's resume look better. He even secretly told the board, Nathan is the true heir of the Johnson family. In fact, all of this is paving the way for the illegitimate child. Wants him to marry the wealthy heiress Sophia. In the previous life, I fully comply with my dad and Lily's arrangements. Let them take everything from me. Didn't expect that. They stole my identity and deliberately set me up. My mom came back from abroad. Heart disease relapsed from sadness. As a result, the entire Johnson family was under their control, thinking of the past life. A surge of anger rose in my heart. This time I will make them pay. I looked around the scene. The gaze landed on Mr. Smith in the crowd. My mom asked me to come to the company for training. But there are also concerns that my identity might influence the upper management's perception. So she kept the matter hidden from the company. Only Mr. Smith, whom she trusts the most. Only then did I realize my true identity. I walked straight over and pulled him out. Asked seriously, Mr. Smith, you are the person my mom trusts the most. Let me tell you all. Am I the eldest son of the Johnson family, the true heir of the Johnson group? I pulled Mr. Smith out. Nathan tensed up immediately. Even Lily's expression changed slightly. If my mom knew Nathan was impersonating me to arrange a marriage, they will definitely be flustered, under everyone's gaze. Mr. Smith frowned, sighed. Ethan, President Johnson values you highly, but you really can't consider yourself a member of the Johnson family. Hurry and apologize to the young master. If inappropriate things are still being said, I can only consider whether you can stay. Nathan and Lily finally breathed a sigh of relief. There were murmurs all around. I feel like Ethan is being a bit unreasonable. He really thinks of himself as a big shot. I think he is jealous of Master Nathan's achievements, had a few drinks and lost control a bit. Did he misunderstand Miss Sophia's youth, beauty, and good background? I heard their discussion. Gave Mr. Smith a cold glance. Mr. Smith knew it well. What consequences would betraying my mother have? Mr. Smith shivered suddenly, looking down, too scared to meet my gaze. Look at the way he looks. I couldn't help but sneer inwardly. In fact, I had already noticed that he had been won over by my dad. Remember that time? My mom found out about my death in the car accident. The pain is unbearable. At her most distressing moment, Mr. Smith suddenly ran over to tell her that something serious happened at the company. The funding chain is broken. The partner has run away. My mom suddenly faced a huge blow. The heart disease has relapsed, in fact, those messages. It's all made up by that Smith. The purpose is to provoke my mom. I just pulled him out, just trying to force him to show his true colors. Help my mom see his true colors. I just sent the recorded audio to my mom. She should see it soon. At this moment, with Mr. Smith backing him up, Nathan became even more audacious. He kicked over, also spat on me fiercely. Who do you think you are to go against me? Where is the security? Throw him out quickly. I was just about to stand up, was pinned down to the ground by a large group of security guards. In the split second before the fist was about to land, a familiar voice suddenly sounded. Stop. What are you doing at the company annual meeting? The security guards hurriedly let me go. My dad helped me get up from the ground. He lowered his voice, whispered in my ear. Why are you so clueless? It turned into such a scene at the company annual meeting. He is your own brother. You actually don't understand to give him a break. Fortunately, I arrived on time. If beaten, I feel heartbroken. I gazed at him coldly as he put on an affectionate father act in front of me. If not for the rebirth, I can't believe this person in front of me actually conspired my car accident, hurt me to death. I pushed his hand away, said coldly, Younger brother, what a joke. I am the only biological child of the Johnson family at the Johnsons. There's only one biological child in this life, so there's really no younger brother at all. The illegitimate child can't even enter the Johnson house. Stop joking. I confronted him directly. My dad's face instantly turned bright red. He pointed at me angrily. The tone is quite strong. I came to help you. You actually said my son is an illegitimate child. You're just an intern. Dare to claim to be a member of the Johnson family. I see you just don't want to take it seriously. Lily took a look, immediately echoed with my dad. Exactly. Don't know where this crazy person came from making a scene here. Actually claims to be the real heir of the Johnson family. What a joke. Do my dad and I not even know our own family? She felt she had something to rely on, attitude getting more arrogant. I couldn't help but find it amusing. So asked Lily, Talk about your family, Lily. Did you forget you are the child we adopted from the orphanage? If I hadn't chosen you back then, my mom won't agree to adopt you at all. You have grown up now. Actually forgot the kindness from those years. Lily's expression changed instantly. Her background is the most taboo subject for her. In her eyes, it was the most shameful part of her life. I brought her to the verge of a breakdown. Sophia saw this situation, immediately defend her future sister-in-law. So what if Lily was adopted? That is also a recognized member of the Johnson family. Much more noble than an ordinary person like you, seeing her defend Lily. I couldn't help but snicker. She probably doesn't know yet. This sister-in-law has long had an ambiguous relationship with her fiancé when Nathan was at the club. The things done aren't very honorable. Their relationship is quite close behind the scenes. Nathan was pointing at me. The tone is not polite at all. Although Lily was adopted, but for me, she is no different from her biological sister. What gives you the right to criticize? He is conceited. Truly believes he is the young master of the Johnson family. I opened his hand, spoke coldly. I am the only heir of the Johnson group. The Johnsons belong to my mom and me. One of you married in. One is an adopted son. Not a Johnson family member at all, as long as I want. You can leave if you want to, just finished speaking. My dad slapped me several times, kicked my rib directly and broke it. Harshly said I'm a failure. We have been married for so many years as a couple. How can this company not be mine? I'm telling you, this company is mine. In the future, my son Nathan will inherit as well. It's you two, mother and son, who should leave. He has been a live-in son-in-law for many years, although holding an executive position in the company. But his abilities are nowhere near my mom's. The words from those around had long upset him. This was brought up by me. He was so angry that his eyes turned red, kicked me several times. I feel as if I've been run over by a car, lying on the ground. Blood dripped from the mouth, but he completely ignores me. Sophia glanced at me, showing a look of disdain, waved, "Take him away." It really feels uncomfortable. I caught a glimpse of the smug expressions on Nathan and Lily's faces, said lightly, "Have you ever thought, what if my mom comes back and finds out what you did? What would the outcome be?" My dad looked nervous. A flicker of ruthlessness flashed in the eyes. "You must be crazy. That's absolutely nonsense. Hurry up and tie him up. Send to the hospital. Wait until he is ready to come back." From my dad's expression, I know he already has plans in mind. Just as I was figuring out how to escape, the door suddenly creaked open. "I'm here to take a look today. Who dares to send my son to the mental hospital?" See the arriving person. Lily's face went pale with fear. My dad forced a smile. "Why did you suddenly come back now? Aren't we supposed to stay in France for a year?" My mom led a large group of people into the hall slowly. Her commanding gaze scanned the room, finally fell on my dad. "When do I need to report my matters to you?" My mom glanced at him. A cold smile. "If you don't come back soon. My son's safety is at stake." My mom saw the wounds on me. Anger immediately appeared on the face. "How could you strike him?" My dad's lips quivered slightly. "Rush to accommodate. Wife, you have no idea, this guy, when you're not at the company, really reckless. The company annual meeting is today. He got dead drunk. Actually starting to cause trouble, still want to argue with others. As part of the company's management, if this isn't even addressed, that's not acceptable. I can't help it either. Therefore, some measures must be taken." He didn't blink, shifted all the blame onto me immediately. Lily nodded in agreement. "That's right. Dad is right. It's all because the older brother drank too much, just got into so much trouble. I watched from the side. I find it quite interesting." At that moment, she remembered that I was her brother. My mom was listening to what they said. The expression is very calm, rhetorically asked, "Is that so? You really didn't deceive me, did you?" My dad thinks there is hope. The eyes suddenly lit up. "Quickly bring Mr. Smith over. If it doesn't work, just go ask Mr. Smith." Mr. Smith looked very serious, gave me a helpless look. "The young master has a bit of a temper. We employees can get through this if we just endure." As soon as he finished speaking, my mother gave him a slap. She took out her phone. "Release the audio I sent her earlier. I have always regarded you as a friend. I didn't expect you to disappoint me." "That's right. Come, say it again. Who is the real Johnson family?" Mr. Smith heard his voice on the recording. Cold sweat instantly broke out. "President, I have no choice either." My mom angrily shook off his hand, immediately called in the HR department. "Just expel him. Also, check if he has received any money or have there been any leaks of confidential information. The traitor. There must be more secrets hidden." Lily saw that their people were going to be checked. Run out to persuade. "Mom, Mr. Smith has worked hard at the company for many years. Forget it." My mom was taken aback. The gaze shot towards Lily in an instant, like a knife. "Yeah, I've almost forgotten you, heartless person. The Johnsons have taken care of you for so long. You blame your brother, truly unhesitating." Lily panicked, want to defend oneself a bit, but my mom has already called a lawyer. "From now on, the Johnsons have cut ties with you. You were chosen by my brother from the orphanage. Since you don't want to acknowledge your brother, then let's go back to the welfare home." Suddenly, Lily seemed to have fallen from heaven to hell. staring at my dad with a pale face. My dad has never dared to speak in front of my mom. How could anyone stand up for her? Nathan didn't dare to speak. The confidence that was in front of me completely vanished. Sophia watched for a while, finally couldn't help but ask, "What do you mean, isn't Nathan the son of the Johnsons? Is it possible that Ethan is the true heir of the Johnson family? My dad is really anxious this time. Nathan is his favorite. He must not let this marriage fail. Nathan is also my son, naturally a part of the Johnson family." He finished speaking. Then she tenderly turned to my mother. The voice lowered. "Request her support. I have stayed at the Johnsons for so many years. I'll leave this matter to you. Please acknowledge Nathan." My mom thought for a moment, after a brief pause, then turned around and stared at me. "Son, do you want to form a connection with the Johnson family?" Every time I recall Sophia's previous performance, I just feel disgusted, immediately refuse. I absolutely don't want to have any involvement with such people. My mom understood immediately. A glimmer of determination shone in the eyes. She looked at Sophia, said in a relaxed tone, "That's right. Nathan is also a member of the Johnson family." After sending off Sophia, I returned home. My mom immediately started asking my dad, "Oh, seriously? I didn't realize it all these years you had a child outside." My dad hesitated for a long time, finally revealed the affair and having a child with the mistress from back then. My mother's chest rose and fell violently. Finally saw this person's true colors at home, seeing her really angry. My dad immediately started blaming himself. "Dear, sorry. I promise to change in the future. These years, he is best at playing the victim in front of my mom. Only I know. This seemingly honest person hides how many secrets inside." I looked at his trick with a cold gaze, took my mom to the study, confessed to my dad about the things she had hidden all these years. When my mom found out that my dad had several lovers outside, still wanted to use the illegitimate child to contest my inheritance rights, laughing in anger. "This guy is really bold. My son's belongings, no one is allowed to touch it." That's it. She was going downstairs to chase my dad away. Can walk halfway. I hurriedly grabbed her. Tell her another thing. "Mom, Nathan is actually not my dad's biological son. It's brought by his lover." My mother's eyes instantly lit up, gave a light hum. I thought, why does it feel completely different from him, since he cares so much about Nathan? "Let them both leave together," I said quietly, and Sophia, "Mom, didn't you want Nathan to settle down with her before? After all, she and Nathan are cut from the same cloth. Just wait until they get married to bring this up." Thought for a while. My mom finally understood my intentions, nodded. "Don't worry, son. Mom will definitely stand up for you." We just got downstairs. My dad stared at me with a serious look. "Ethan, you aren't talking bad about me behind my back again, are you? I am your dad. Why not consider harmonious family relationships instead? It provokes discord between you and your mom." Seeing him like this, I immediately put on a look of grievance. "I just went to persuade my mom. Hope she can accept Nathan. Forgive your past mistakes. How can you think of me like that?" My mom continued. "If I hadn't just advised her. She chased you away a long time ago. My dad doesn't look very well. Apologized to me while holding back emotions. Knowing Nathan can stay. Marriages can continue afterwards. He is very happy. Before leaving, held my hand tightly and advised me. He is your younger brother. In the future, pay more attention to him." He left. I washed my hands several times. It always feels uncomfortable. My mother arranged for someone to handle the property division, preparing for divorce. Sophia came with her family to apologize. She learned that I am the true heir of the Johnson family. Nathan is just a bastard. Regretful inside. Come over here and please me right away. If it weren't for Nathan constantly talking behind your back in front of me, I won't create so many misunderstandings with you either." Sophia wiped her tears. Criticizing Nathan on the sofa. "I've said it several times. I said it casually. The tone is very indifferent, really. I think Miss Sophia and Nathan are quite a good match." Sophia's face changed instantly, just about to say something. My mom spoke up. "This time returning home, I am ready to retire. Let Ethan handle all matters of the Johnson group." The parents of the Johnsons responded immediately. As soon as I walked in, I noticed Ethan's extraordinary charisma. He is definitely fine to be entrusted to the Johnsons. Sophia has learned how to handle household chores since she was little. Surely can become a good partner in the future. My mom saw how close they seemed. The smile reveals a hint of dissatisfaction. The marriage between the Johnson family and the Johnson family can continue, but Sophia can only marry Nathan. Sophia was extremely anxious. The volume went up. "That's just an illegitimate child. How could someone be worthy of me?" My mom said softly. "Even if it's an illegitimate child, still the illegitimate child of the Johnsons. If you don't want an arranged marriage, just walk away. Our Johnson family has no shortage of relatives in this house." Sophia hasn't had a chance to speak yet. The Johnsons panicked. The Johnson family has always been dependent on the Johnson family. How could anyone dare to offend my mom? They immediately agreed to the marriage, just as they were about to leave. My mom called them to stop. You must return that emerald necklace to me. That was prepared for my future daughter-in-law. Sophia's eyes were red. She didn't expect to have planned so hard for so long. Unexpectedly blindfolded. Married a illegitimate child. Nathan felt a bit shy when he went out, want to chat with her a bit, but not a glance was exchanged. My mom prevented the Johnsons from breaking off the engagement. Helped Nathan keep the marriage. She doesn't want to contribute any money for the wedding. My dad whispered a suggestion. Want to persuade my mom to give some money. But it was not mentioned again after being rejected. He wants to take out his savings. But a wealthy marriage can't be completed without a few million. To save face for the son, he had to borrow money from everywhere. Barely managed to organize a decent wedding banquet day. My mom didn't go. Instead, a press conference was held, announced her divorce news, because my dad cheated. He didn't get any of the property when I heard the news. My dad is giving a speech at the wedding banquet. As a result, was so upset that ended up in the hospital, he woke up, hurriedly took Nathan to the company. He vented his frustration by pointing at me. I knew you were up to something behind the scenes. Clearly, it's my own brother. How can you be so heartless and selfish? It's really funny. Earlier, when he wanted to take action against me because of that illegitimate child, have you ever cared about any blood relationship? I really don't understand. What right does he have to blame me? Nathan is just a bastard. He can enter our Johnson home. It's completely my mother's tolerance. Being kicked out is only natural. A hint of embarrassment appeared on Nathan's face. Then he began to pretend to cry. Brother, no matter how you think. I am your brother. I don't want to compete for inheritance with you. I just want a warm home. Why are you unwilling to fulfill such a simple wish of mine? I watched his performance coldly. It is inevitably amusing. Call me brother. I don't have a brother. As soon as I said this, my dad was so angry that his hands were shaking. He said through clenched teeth, what's wrong with being an illegitimate child? Half of his blood is exactly the same as yours. He is also my child. Why can't he be considered your real brother? I smiled faintly, took some sheets of paper out of the drawer and threw them in front of him. Is this really a biological brother? You need to understand, Nathan and I are not related at all. He bent down to pick up the paper on the ground, almost had a heart attack upon seeing it. Those papers turned out to be the paternity test results for him and Nathan. How is this possible? How could Nathan not be my child? He stared at me in a daze. Said incredulously, you must be lying to me. Maybe it's because of fearing that I would leave my assets to him. So that's why it was said that way. I couldn't help but tug at the corners of my mouth, silently mocking. You have walked away with nothing. How much money is left? As the heir of the Johnson family. Why would I care about your money? Nathan's eyes flickered. There was a hint of guilt on the face. You are just jealous of my dad's love for me. It was intentional to create that false report. I am my father's biological son. I stood up. She looked at him calmly and said, let's go to the hospital together now, redo the paternity test. You dare. Nathan panicked immediately, unable to respond stutteringly. Look at him like this. My dad's heart sank. What else does he need to understand you are just born by chance from your mom? You have been deceiving me all these years. At this point, the evidence is right in front of us. My dad was also abandoned by the Johnsons. It's completely worthless now. Nathan didn't want to continue acting at all. Confident demeanor. So what if my mom caused you trouble? Aren't you also making your wife wear a green hat? What right do you have to criticize her? My dad was so angry he was about to faint. He worked hard all his life for Nathan's home, even incurred a huge debt. But in the end, it was just making a wedding gown for someone else. Pay me back the money I lent you over the past few years. You are not my son at all. Why use my money? My dad grabbed Nathan by the collar, shout angrily. He is getting older, not even a match for the youthful Nathan, knocked down in an instant. He is holding his waist, rolling in pain, the son who once fawned over him. At this moment just brushed off the dust from the clothes. This old man is quite strong. Almost tore my clothes, I can tell you. There's no way to get a penny from me. I can't get any money from me. He turned around and walked away, dissatisfied. Even the people on the ground couldn't be bothered to take a glance. My dad was sad for a while. Only then did I realize I was his biological child. Confessed to me in tears. Son, I finally understand. Only you are sincere with me. I was really blind before. I will apologize to your mom. Our family of 3 will live well from now on. Sorry, you and your son. I will make it up to you in the future. I sneered and tugged at my pant leg, said contemptuously, after losing the fake son. Did he just remember me? His biological son it was for that illegitimate child. Just wanted to send me to a mental hospital. Who on earth you don't regret being mean to me and my mom, but regretting not choosing the right person? I spoke the truth candidly. My dad's face instantly turned pale. Can't say a word. I'm too lazy to argue with him anymore. Directly tell someone to kick him out. Soon after, I learned about Nathan's situation. I heard that my mom got divorced. My dad and Nathan were kicked out by the Johnsons. Sophia immediately regretted it. Decided to divorce at the wedding banquet. The Johnsons are smart enough, hold the wedding banquet first, then obtain the marriage certificate. So, the process of breaking off an engagement has also become quite simple. In this way, Nathan is really empty-handed, didn't gain anything. My dad is still asking him for money. After all, the wedding banquet cost several million. They were all borrowed by my dad. He previously thought that marrying into the Johnson family was enough. He can continue to maintain his high-end social circle. Didn't expect that. The Johnson family only cares about Nathan and their own family's status. Nathan was pushed out the door. The Johnsons turned against immediately. He put in so much effort and spent so much money. In the end, nothing was gained. Nathan visited several times, wanted to ask the Johnsons for some compensation, but every time it was rejected. The Johnsons even made tough statements. If Nathan comes over again, we'll resort to tough measures. However, the marriage cancellation has turned the Johnson family into a topic of conversation during meals and tea breaks. Everyone knows the facade of kindness and unpredictability of the Johnsons. Many mocked Sophia for not being able to tell the real from the fake. Treat a bastard as a treasure. Not long after, the Johnsons chose to move under public pressure, gradually withdrew from the circle. Nathan lost his source of income, had to go to work at the club again. I was drinking with a client, just saw him arguing with someone. Take a closer look. It's actually my dad. My dad seems to have drunk quite a bit. The eyes are red, holding on tightly to him. You work here, should have made quite a bit of money, just pay me back the money. I won't bother you anymore. Nathan gritted his teeth, because he has always been supported by my dad and Lily, used to spending money extravagantly, can't save any money. Moreover, even if he is rich, it can't be given to my dad. He kicked my dad hard, said with a face full of disgust, "Don't be here." Does he really think I'm his dad? Even if he is my real dad, I won't give him a penny either. My dad is panting, eyes full of dissatisfaction for this little guy. I sacrificed a lot. You won't even put out a penny. I'm living so hard right now. Can't even find a place to stay. It's all because of you. I frowned. I didn't expect my dad's life to be so miserable. At this moment, he actually believed it was someone else's problem. Not a single mistake was made. It's really laughable. I am about to leave. A scream suddenly came from behind. I turned back to take a look. I found my dad holding a half-empty beer bottle. It was stabbed straight into Nathan's stomach. Blood flowed everywhere. People around were screaming and calling the police. When the police arrived, Nathan is already gone. My dad was pinned to the ground. He saw me among the crowd. As if finding hope for life, "Ethan, help me quickly. I'm drunk. I didn't mean to hurt anyone." I take 2 steps back, looking coldly at this embarrassed man. Said in a flat tone, "You have mistaken the person. My father passed away long ago, since he chose to support the illegitimate child's rise to power. Even wanted to take action against me, so in my heart. The father has long been gone. His eyes gradually lost their luster. I turned and left, not even a glance back on the phone. My mom texted me to drink less. Don't forget to protect your stomach. Someone truly cares about me. This life is enough.